Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Innu, and Dakota peoples, and in the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. My name is Bill Moreski. I will be chairing today's hearing. And with me on the panel is Mr. Jerry Arnold. He is joining via Zoom. And present in the room is Miss Judy Redmond. Our secretary today is Crystal Harlan. And our assessor today is Atir Rayhan. To the Zoom participants of the hearing, please note you are placed in the waiting room until your property is called upon. When it is your turn, you will be admitted into the meeting. Kindly follow along on the City of Winnipeg's Board of Revision YouTube channel for the hearing process. Once the host admits you into the hearing, please close or mute your YouTube player. You will then be permitted to speak with respect to your property. Once your hearing has concluded, you can leave the meeting. We will be hearing applications for revision for the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. Matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessment of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and the City Administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony, followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony, followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all of the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. We will hear items 2, 4, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, and 15 on our docket today. So Ms. Harlan is the applicant on item number 2 present.
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we will then push the item number 2 to the end. And is item number 4 applicant available?
That is Alan Scott. Please, Mr. Chair, I'll ask if there's an Alan Scott. No, not here as well.
Okay, and item number 6, 511 Collegiate is the applicant. Bill, and there is present in the room, correct? Okay, so that is the one we will start with. So Ms. Harlan, can you please swear in the assessor and the applicant's testimony?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Mr. Assessor, would you please stand? Mr. Assessor. Mr. Assessor, would you please state your full name?
Arthur Rehan.
Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you.
Mr. Applicant, would you please state your full name?
Dale Windsor.
Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Okay, we're going to start with item number 6, 511 Collegiate. Mr. Rehan, can you give me your presentation? Are there any preliminary items from either party before we start? Okay, then you may begin your presentation, Mr. Rehan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the item, so the roll number for the property is 0702093200. The address is 511 Collegiate Street. It's in the neighborhood of King Edward. It's a one-story single dwelling built in 1918. Living area of 720 square feet, with a full basement foundation. Currently, the basement is not finished. It has one full bath. There is no garage. On the property, the lot size is 5,426 square feet. Currently, it's assessed for 2025 at 174,000. With total assessment per square feet at 241.67. We have, I have 4 comparables for the property. Just before reading that out, I would also like to mention to the board that there are some vacant land comparables too, added with this evidence. So my first comparable is 254 Parkview Street. Same neighborhood as the subject, King Edward. It's a one-story 1918 built, living area of 688 square feet. It has a full or part foundation. Basement is not finished. It has 1 half bath, 1 shower, no garage. The lot size is 2,709 square feet. The time adjusted sale price for that property is 148,000. The time adjusted sale price per square foot comes up to 215.12. Yeah, we have 273 Brooklyn Street, built in 1912, 765 square feet, part basement foundation. Basement not finished. 1 full bath, lot size is 2,295 square feet. The time adjusted sales price for that property is $179,300. With time adjusted sales price per square feet is $234.38. Third comparable we have is 239 King Edward Street, built in 1912, 656 square feet, part basement foundation, 3,012 square feet. The time adjusted for that property is $152,900. The time adjusted for sale price per square feet is $233.08 per square feet. And then the fourth comparable is 338 King Edward Street, built in 1913, 690 square feet. It has a full basement foundation. It only has 162 square feet of finished basement space. And then it has an old single detached garage, 2,695 square feet with light traffic and park influence. Time adjusted sales price for the property is $165,500. And then I have some vacant lot comparables. That's because the applicant did advise me that his property is a tear down. So I included some comparables which are tear down properties. And then we can see that we have 4 comparables here, all from King Edward neighborhood. The lot size is ranging from 4,532 square feet to 3,628 square feet. The time adjusted sales price is ranging from $131,200 to $202,600, with the time adjusted sales price per lot size per square foot is ranging from 28.95 per square feet to 49.79 per square feet. Just to mention, the assessment per lot size for the subject property is at 32.07 per square feet. That's all from our presentation.
Mr. Windsor, do you have any questions for the assessor on this presentation?
Yeah, I do. I never got the assessments for the and for the tear downs. I never got no email or nothing, so this is a surprise evidence here to me, so
I forward everything to the board.
I did send you something.
I got nothing. If I got it, I would have written it down on my notes. I got nothing.
Okay,
I did get the first one from you. I did get the letter acknowledging the date, etc., etc. I got the 4 comparison properties from him as well, but I never got nothing on.
Can you get him a copy?
well, Mr. Chair, the only thing we send to the applicant for evidence is what the assessor sends.
I mean, whatever I have, you have the same thing here, that's what I forwarded. And
Right.
I guess it's not my responsibility to forward the evidence to him.
No, but so,
Why is it not your responsibility? If you were gonna present that as evidence.
Okay, just let the secretary finish, please.
Okay,
so Mr. Windsor, you got the first email where I acknowledged your evidence.
right.
And then you got a second email where I sent you the evidence from the assessor?
The 4 MLS listings, yes.
Yes, then that's all the evidence that we needed to send you.
Okay, but he's introducing. Today, he's introducing tear down properties. If he's gonna introduce that, don't you think I should have had a right to at least look and see where you're located and what it's all about?
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, the process is that he gets to see this evidence that you provide.
Yeah. I totally agree with it, but as I said, I submitted the whole evidence as this. With the comparables, with the vacant lot comparables, with the maps to the board. So,
Mr. Chair, I can
Yeah.
talk with Visa.
Yeah, well, if he gets if he can get him the evidence today, we can get him that information.
Okay, just a
Let's try
moment,
that.
please. Excuse me, please. I'll just shut this down just a moment.
Okay, we are back in order, so the issue of the applicant, the applicant of not seeing all the evidence from the assessor. We are going to proceed on the basis that it was sent to him. Therefore, we will carry on with the process, and the applicant has that evidence in front of him as of this time, and that is how we're going to proceed. So, Mr. Applicant, do you have any questions for the assessor on this presentation?
Yeah, I do. What about last time? He listed column 4. Which is 338 King Edward Street. Has a full basement, but it's finished. I'm not sure the square footage he mentioned, but it's still stays finished. And as far as the city's concerned, as far as I know, when you finish the basement, you get taxed on it. It has a garage. I don't care if it's a tear down or whatever. I have no garage in my property. It'd be a luxury to have a garage on your property. Lots of my neighbors have garages. I never had the time or the money to do so, so. I don't know why he's put that into comparison, especially when I want to compare apples to apples. This thing got apples and oranges and pears and whatever, so I can agree with that. The other one was the 2, which is central air conditioning. I don't have air conditioning. I don't even have an air conditioner for the window. Central air conditioning is a great plus, especially this year with all the heat. So I don't think that should be included as well. And the other thing that I want to bring up, so once I take that key, the 338 King Edward Street, all the properties he's listed, I've lived in St. James all my life, 7 years. in the immediate area. I lived on Queen Street and then I lived at 43 years, I've lived on Collegiate Street. I've seen major changes with the airport and I am experiencing unbelievable noise this year because they shut one of the runways down. For which I've already supposedly logged over 200 complaints. They've changed the landing and the takeoff for the airport, so I'm.
Do you have a question on his presentation?
On his
On his
presentation,
presentation.
well, the fact that he's comparing properties that are outside, basically in my living area. Because you can say they're 403
To answer just your questions to the.
Okay, when I live, I've, like I said, I've lived all my life in this area, 70 years, I have seen changes galore. 43 years on this lot alone, the Collegiate Street. The properties that you're comparing are on the other side of Ness Avenue, between Ness and Portage Avenue, there's no noise. I volunteer at food banks, I'm always riding, and I go down in that area, there's no noise, there's no planes, there's nothing. It's silent. You could sleep at night with your windows open, I cannot do that. I have to slam all my windows shut and.
Do you have a question for him? Please?
So why are no properties near my area? All of them are all on the south side of Ness Avenue.
So if you see the comparable map here, the reason for me when I had an initial discussion with you on when we talked.
Yeah.
It was regarding the property to be a tear down.
Yes.
And I did not contest or I did not say anything. I didn't see your inspection of the property from outside. It does look in bad shape. So the properties that I've included in my docket are basically the ones which have major issues. So even if we're discussing 338 King Edward Street, it has broken flooring, broken kitchen cabinets on the property.
Yeah.
Full basement, if it's a fully finished basement,
Yeah.
it does have a positive impact on the property value.
Yeah.
But
I know this.
the only currently on finished part of the basement right now is 162 square feet. It will be a plus point,
Yeah.
but it won't have a significant impact. Either way, the property was in a bad shape when it sold. And the time sale price is at 165,500 with half the size of a lot that you have. Now, question regarding why, I believe they are in close proximity as a neighborhood. I did some land research in the area too. If you see the second map, please.
Yeah.
401 Parker Street, 349 Derby Street, they are very close to your property.
Well, they're not really close, but I haven't had a chance to inspect them yet, so. It may look close to this map when you start driving in the area and you, like I said, live in this area, you start seeing the planes coming in, I know where they're coming in, I know the flight out for these planes.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, they're territory.
I drove by the area and they don't look far. I mean, the ones I mentioned for 1 Park View and 349 Derby Street, kind of far away. Pretty close, and I would say it took me like 2 or 3 minutes to drive down from home.
I'm not driving, walking, trying riding a bike, it's a lot further than you think. A lot of 50 feet starting in.
And
Excuse me, and up into thousands of feet.
Okay, he's answered your question.
Yeah.
So he's given you an answer. The question?
No,
Mr. Arnold, do you have a question for the assessor?
Yeah, did you actually view the property itself and the house?
the exterior inspection, not from the inside.
Okay, and on a tear down, is there any consideration given to the cost of cleanup?
It does, that's why the vacant land comparable that I included in my docket. If you see
Right.
all 4 of them, and when they sold for land value with the buildings on them. So that's why I
Okay,
think
Okay, I understand. Okay, thank you. That's all.
can I address his question?
No. That's questions for the assessor.
Oh,
You will have a chance to do your entire presentation after the assessor's done.
okay, okay.
Ms. Raymond, do you have any questions for the assessor?
Nothing further to Mr. Arnell, he covered everything I was gonna ask.
Yes, and he also covered one of mine. So the lot size of the subject is 5,426, correct?
Correct.
Uh, Yeah, I'm looking at the other. So that's considerably larger than the comparables.
From all comparable, yes, it's still, it has a larger lot.
Okay.
Can I add? Something to my answer?
If it's relevant to the
Yes,
question.
it is. It's relevant because this lot, the subject lot, has a 50-foot frontage. So by permit, it can be subdivided into 2 lots if somebody potentially buys into it, so it has a larger potential for resale
Mhm.
than the comparables and the other lots.
So these ones that you said are vacant land here. So you said that's the after tear down price. So what you're saying is a contractor comes or. So a company comes along here, sees these places, tears down the houses. And then puts the land up on the market, is that what you're implying?
No, these are the ones which were sold in as is condition with the building. If somebody buys it, they tear the house down and build a new one
Okay,
on this
so
place.
so the buyers are bearing the cost of tearing it down
Looks like it.
and building it. And that's the price that they pay with derelict house still on it.
Yes, the building was standing at the time of sale. And they demolished it afterwards. As per the information.
So if I just pick one here and I say 363 Parkview Street. The time adjusted sale price. For that piece of land. With a derelict house on that needs to be torn down is worth $202,600. This is telling me.
And this is what it suggests with 4,069 square feet lot. And there's a range here, it's, and depending on the size of the lot. So we have a range of. Time to sale by 131, 200 up, and it's going to 200 and 600. And then because I'm comparing the vacant lots. As with the subject property, I'm looking at the per square footage of the what lot size,
Yeah.
the dollar value.
Yeah.
And what I see is, it is on the lower end of the scale rather than on the higher end of the scale. So the lowest is 2895 and the subject lot size, the assessment for lot size is 3207.
Okay, I have no further questions then. So, Mr. Windsor, you can begin your presentation.
Okay, thank you. Like I said, I want to reiterate that I've lived in St. James all my life, 70 years. I've lived at 511 for 43 straight years. The assessor said he agreed it was a tear down. He's welcome anytime to come into the house and inspect it at any time he wants to, so I have no problem with that. Like I stated, the comparable homes are far south of where I am, and I am subjected to the noise from the airport, which has changed its landing and departures. So, like I said, now I cannot sleep with windows open. I used to, when I first moved into my house, there was 4 Air Canada cargo jets that ripped out. Now there's like 30, 40 planes a night that rip out of my thing, and they just shake the walls in my house. So that's why I'm almost ready to get out of there and just say, you know what, I'm done with this thing after all these years. So okay, I continue to get these in my mailbox, and I have lots of them. Because I didn't submit them, because I have, I don't know, 15 here, whatever there is here. They're all from the as is, where is. So you can't lose the property. I tried once about 15, 20 years ago, I tried to list the property, no offers at all because there's no living room. There's only 2 bedrooms, a kitchen and a bathroom. The bathroom is not complete now because I removed the shower because it was leaking, because it was in the north wall, so immediate put it there, so I got that out, so it's a small little house to live in, so I'm looking at it just as is, so I phoned all these, as soon as I get them, I've been phoning since April the 9th. And I can, as I get them, I can take the phone and ask for prices, and I get ranges from 125 to $130,000. One of the things I have a problem with my property, and as a fellow, I believe is that Zoom or whatever that is that assessor? Who's the guy on the TV?
That's the panel member.
A panel member, okay, one of the panel members is stated about tear down costs. I have 12 trees on my property to remove. They are not small trees. They are at least 1.5 feet across. Anybody who's had a tree removed can know that they can cost up to $5,000 to have a tree removed. I said to the guy, I'm not removing it. You just get in here, you remove. Some of them are on from my neighbor's properties on both sides, the south and the north side, and they severely overhang into my property. So when they're gonna try to cut those down, I don't know what kind of hassles you're gonna be with that. I've been told there's all kinds of red tape and there's costs to subdivide the property. You cannot, I have an empty lot supposedly next to me, but unfortunately, as by the surveyor certificate that I have, although it's a little ripped, but it's my surveyor certificate, believe it or not, the lot next to me is only 24.55 feet. So you cannot build on that unless you tear my house down. So I just want to make that so that if you think that I can build a house next to my house and still live in mine, I cannot do that, so. One of the things that's really bothering me here is, here it is, and about taxes to prove the value. In 2017, because you guys every 2 years you have an assessment. 2017, the property was valued at 119. In 19, it went to 130. In 2021, it dropped to 128, probably because of COVID. 2023, it dropped to 124, only because of interest rates. Now you want to put 174, which is a 40% increase. Nobody increases things by 40. What you're basically saying is that for almost 10 years, the city of Winnipeg has been incompetent in their assessments.
You asking me?
I'm just wait, I'm just saying that for me, that means that 10 years, the city has been incompetent in their assessments. Because you cannot jack something 40% without people screaming at it. If I went to the media on this, there'd be a heyday with this. Nobody jacks properties. This is an exploitation of seniors, exploitation of low income people, because they're not going to meet the ceiling. Most of them have to work. They're on minimum wage or whatever. They're not going to come down and assess it. Or on a rental property, most rental people do property, they just raise their rent up. I own this house, and I'm here to say that you can't jack something 40%. There's no justification for it. What, all of a sudden my land, I got gold on my property or something? No, you not. You can't just go, like I said, 119, 130, 120, 124.
Okay, I think
174.
we understand that, so you can move on to your next point.
Okay. Front of the trees. Tear down costs. Which is great, so near the bigger properties. That's what I have.
Mr. Assessor, do you have questions on the applicant's presentation?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I have questions. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
So you currently reside in the house?
Yeah. Yes,
So is the house currently at this time?
yes. That's why I'm living there. It wasn't I'd be on the street or I'd be in the apartment.
Okay. And were you able to do any sales or research in terms of comparables with your own property in the same conditions?
In the same condition.
Like same condition properties as same as yours?
I've looked at what you gave me, but I go by what it comes in here. I've had these MLS people, they will list it. There's no way they're gonna list it. So I phoned all the ones that aren't as is, because I'm not gonna pay like 7 to 10% commission. a real estate property doesn't make sense to me. That's money that I can use to pay rent for my future living. So I'm looking at on an as is basis. You can't find many places that will offer as is. This is cash right up front, so that's why I'm going with all the as is. And like I said, they're not all the same. I don't think that photocopies and send to you. They're all from different people, all different phone numbers. And like I said, the reason what they're offering me is 125, 130, because they're saying there's additional expenses. So between where the costs of subdividing the lot, the new plumbing, the new, everything that's involved in getting the land for new homes. And the worst one they say is trees, because they say, how did you get so many trees? I said, I just let them grow. I'm sorry, I like nature, whatever. So.
Yeah, that's all the questions. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Redmond, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Just one, I just wondered if you have any written estimates from the folks that you talked to. They all want to.
They're all on the phone, they'll give me a check, they're willing to walk down and give me a check, but they won't put it in writing. And I'm going, I don't know why, like. They just, but they're also, I'm gonna call it collusion, because they're all different phone numbers and different writing and different presentations, so. But it's not funny that they're all in the same range. Okay.
So you said that, they're, across Portage, is it? Or between Portage,
St. Matthews, very close to
St. Matthews and,
Ferry Road,
Barry?
yep,
So you've
almost
been living there how many years?
43.
3. So is that path, flight path, has it all been the same since you lived there?
I keep saying it's not, I keep arguing with the airport about it. They're saying it is, and I'm saying, well, but then they did publish between the city of Winnipeg, NAVCAN, I believe it was, and the airport. They came up with a new structure of landing the aircraft to save on fuel because they moved the terminal. So what they do now is the planes are coming in much lower, and so they're able to touch down on their target much quicker. Basically hammer the brakes and make that first turn, and they're in the terminal. They're done. So
Yeah.
they're not going out further now and then.
Okay, because I thought you had mentioned that somehow there's same things have changed and there's more planes now.
Well,
Or
there is, because Air Canada was hauling the cargo. They were just those 4 jets for Air Canada's that would take off at night. And then they canceled the contract with Pearl all of a sudden, and I was with media and everything else in the newspaper because they put old 727s in there, and they were the noisiest things you ever heard. And I dealt with Lynn Bishop at the time, and like I said, it got over the media because they were just noisier than whatever. And now they've increased, the cargo business has increased. There's more carriers in here now than ever. The prop planes are coming in late at night now. They're flying in from up north and from out east. And it is just getting almost like
okay,
it's getting
Yeah, got it.
with closed windows. That's why all the new homes built with R41 windows. I don't have R41 windows. I don't have 2x8 and 2x10 construction, 2x4. So it's an old house. It's
okay, I have further questions. Mr. Arnell, did I get you?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
So what do you think the fair assessment is? Are you saying a 125 to 130?
yeah. Well, I'm looking at the last assessment for 2023 was 124. According to the, I believe it's the city of Winnipeg, when they publish their assessment rates for 2025, they say the average in St. James is 4%. So if it's 4%, I'm looking at 130. I'm looking at the high end of the quotes that I have from all these people.
So you're willing to sell that property for 130?
Yes. I have asthma, and it's, I'm going for some big checks this year, later this winter. And if it gets to the point where I have to sell a house, then I will sell. I can't, it's harder to maintain now. Like I have to call in people, and it's hundreds of dollars every time I call somebody in to get something fixed. So I'm looking, going, like it's harder to shovel snow. I mean, at 7 years old, I'm not That's a big lot to shovel, and even my family tells me, it's time for you to get out of there.
Okay, that's all the questions I had. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay. So anything in submission, Mr. Assessor?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Now, I would like to summarize, I am not contesting the condition of the property with the homeowner. I truly believe the house is not in a good condition. My main point of evidence is basically the land value sales in the region, which are close by. They all have same noise pollution from the airports, not just the subject. And then, as I said, it has a 50-foot frontage, which is legally permissible without any red tapes. Permits can be subdividable into 2 lots of 25 frontage each. The comparable that I have listed in front of me for the vacant land sales are all below. Either they're like 39 is the maximum for all of them, which can be subdivided. So in terms of that, I believe it has a high potential in the land and could be sold for this 174 more or less.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Windsor, anything in summary?
Yes, I do. He mentioned there's no red tape. Well, I'm sorry, that's not right, whatever. I don't know where you're coming up with that, because every one of these guys claims red tape at City Hall. They said it's unbelievable. They wait weeks, sometimes months to get things done. So when you're saying there's no red tape, I don't believe that. And airport noise, I have offered it, well, Mr. Gill was not mayor, but when he was councilor and Mr. Sean Douglas, both of them, we come out to my area and I'll set up a tent. You try to live outside, or you try to sleep one night when these planes are coming in and out, listen to the noise and the stench from planes when they do run-ups. You can't breathe. Like, that's probably why my asthma is getting worse. I said, I have to shut the windows and close them, but I'm sure the windows leak and I'm not sure that's part of the cause. So, but it is atrocious in that area. And the other thing I just want to reiterate, I'm sorry, but this is, I don't want to call it an embarrassment, but this is a slam against past city assessors. How you can go, like I said, it was 119, 130 in 2019, 128, 124. How you can jump things 40% in 1 year. I can't see that. I can see, like, my water bill goes 8%, other things go 6%, 7%, but not 40%. That's outrageous. I just cannot believe the city's even considering a 174 appraisal.
Okay. That then will then conclude item number 6, 5, 11 collegiate. So you are free to go, Mr. Windsor. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you. If there's ever on Zoom or whatever.
Okay, we will proceed then to item number 7, 52 Deer Log Place. This is a application for revision of assessed value. Ms. Harlan, Mrs. Harlan, can you please swear in the applicant?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Mr. Applicant, would you please state your full name?
Kenneth Thomas Leslie,
Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Okay, Mr. Assessor, you can begin your presentation for this property.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the property, roll number is 0705 130 1000. The street address is 52 Deer Lodge Place in the neighborhood of Bruce Park. It is a 2-story, 1990 built. It has 3,078 square feet living area. It's a full basement foundation with a finished basement. It has 2 full bath, 1 half bath, 1 shower, central AC on the property with 1 fireplace. It has a multiple attached garage. The assessed lot size is 7,293 square feet with Assiniboine adjacent as land influence. The property is currently assessed at 982,000 with total assessment per square feet is 319.04. We have 4 comparables for this property. Comparable, one is in the same neighborhood as the subject, 2, 3, and 4 are in Parkfield neighborhood. The building type for all the comparables are 2-story except for comp 1, which is 2.5 stories. The area built is ranging from 1912 to 1986. The living area comparables is ranging from 2,231 square feet to 2,685 square feet. All the comparables have a full basement foundation with finished basement. They all have central AC. Comp 2 has 2 fireplace and comp 1 has no fireplace on the property. All the properties have same attached multiple garage except for comp 1, which has a detached multiple garage. The lots and comp 2 has an in-ground pool on the property. The assessed lot size is ranging for comparables from 7,690 square feet to 11,633 square feet. For land influences, comp 1 is on Assiniboine adjacent, same as the subject property, and comp 3 has a golf course. The time adjusted sale price is ranging from 674,000 to 948,700. And the time adjusted sales price per square feet is ranging from 302.11 per square feet to 353.73 per square feet. I would like to recommend a lower value for the property of 921,000 for 52 garage space. Thank you.
Sorry, what was that figure again?
921,000.
Mr. Leslie, how do you feel about that recommendation?
I don't believe the property owner would accept that. But I'd like to ask the assessor why he made that recommendation.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, check.
Okay, I mean, the recommendation is based on, first of all, the subject property is a unique build. There are no good comparables for the property with the size and the Assiniboine adjacent influence. So I could not find anything except for comp 1 in the same neighborhood with the Assiniboine adjacent property. So to come up with right now, I've seen the evidence submitted by the applicant regarding there only 1 bedroom on the property. So to consider everything, and I just use the average assessment increase in the market region for this property.
Okay, on that basis, you wish to carry on with your appeal?
Yes.
Okay. Are you finished with your presentation?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Leslie, do you have any questions for the assessor on his presentation?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. You concluded that comp 1 is probably the best comparable,
Yes.
and you made a statement, or you made a recommendation to for a value of 921,000, and is it correct that you stated that was the previous value with a 4% median market increase?
But previous value, you mean 2024? Or
The previous assessed value plus the market increase of
yes.
4%. That's how you arrived at the
That's how I
921.
Yes.
Are you aware that the 2024 is the subject of a municipal board application?
I am aware.
So if the municipal board was to reduce the value. Then plus 4% would be lower, is that not correct?
I mean, that is looking into the future right now. I did what I had with the information in front of me. Right now, I have no other information beyond that the current assessment is 885.
Right, and you made a statement that this is a unique bill. The unique portion, what's unique about this particular property?
What's unique? I mean, it is, first of all, it is not just an average build. It has, at that time from 1990, it has a good higher end finishing.
But I guess to be specific, the subject property is a 1-bedroom, correct?
Yes.
Did you inspect the best comparable Douglas Park on the Assiniboine Bridge? Did you inspect that property?
No,
Do you know how many bedrooms there are in it?
I do. It has 4 bedrooms.
No, and I think you made a statement that there are no comparables, is that correct?
I did not say there are no comparables. I said there are no good comparables exactly similar to the subject.
Maybe not to put words in your mouth, there are no 1-bedroom properties of this like that can be used as a comparable.
I wouldn't say that. When I'm doing a comparison, I'm not looking only at the bedrooms. We're looking at the year of build, we're looking at the living area of the property, we're looking at the lot size, and one important factor that we look at right now with the subject property is it is Assiniboine adjacent. So there are not gonna be a lot of properties Assiniboine adjacent which are going on the market in this last reassessment cycle. So the only one I could find was 82 Douglas Park, and then the second one, the best I have is the one which is on golf course, which has some kind of positive impact as an influence.
And per your submission, the lot size for the comparable one is 11,633 square feet on the river.
Correct. But the square footage is 2,682 square feet.
Right. And the subject property on the river is 7,293.
Correct.
Those are all my questions, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Redmond, do you have any questions for the assessor?
No, I don't, Susan.
Mr. Arnold, do you have any questions for the assessor?
None at this time, thanks.
And I have no questions, therefore, Mr. Leslie, you can begin your presentation.
I believe you have a copy of my submission. Dated September 19th, 2024.
I have. Mr. Arnold, you have it?
I do.
And do you have a copy of, there was a further information provided dated September 19th, 2024, which is, and this was as a result of a discussion with the assessor as to whether the property owner had a written quote from Winnipeg Building and Decorating as to what the cost would be to add a second bedroom. Do you have a copy of that?
I have it here and it's in
Yeah, we have-
the package.
Okay, so. The subject property has been the subject of applications and it's summarized on page 2 of my brief. And as confirmed by the assessor, the 2024 year, which is reference year 2021, is the subject of an application. The issue is that we've got with the subject property is we've got, as the assessor says, a unique build. It is a large 1-bedroom property on the river. the owner has no intent of changing that to anything. But the Municipal Assessment Act suggests that value is to be assessed between willing buyer and willing seller. And so what I would suggest that a willing buyer is going to look at the cost of adding at least one bedroom on the second floor, or renovating to add a second bedroom. The issue with adding the second bedroom is the bathroom on the second floor is an ensuite. And so you're not gonna have whoever occupies your second bedroom traipsing into the master bedroom in order to use the facility. And so there's where the major cost comes in. The Winnipeg Building has provided an estimate of that cost, which, and you have a copy of, is $195,616.58 for what they refer to as a small bedroom. Now, the assessor also testified that in addition to this being a unique build, there is a very high level of finishing in this house. And so I would suggest that a buyer is not going to put in a little small bedroom with a small bathroom. They're going to finish it in the style that this home is accustomed to. The other issue with this property is it is adjacent to the river. I had provided in the information on page 9, a picture that was taken from the footbridge that goes over to Assiniboine Park. The house on the corner that's recently built and the assessment information is on page 7, only for purposes of location. I'm not comparing assessments. But you can note on that picture, that property owner, and that's a new build, spent $150,000 on the riverbank. The X marked on picture on page 9 is approximately where the subject property is. Because the lot size is much smaller than comparable number 1, the riverbank is going to be an issue for any purchaser. And so that's what I've taken into consideration is what will the willing buyer pay for this house? It's not what willing, I don't have a willing seller. He lives in the house, he built it himself, and he will live in the house until they take him out. How I arrive at my number is really based on a decision that was reached in 2020 at $700,000 at the board. And then the application before the municipal board is to take that number where we have an agreement and increase it by the medium market range because it accepted that it's a unique 1-bedroom, which was 12% at that time, so that it goes to 784. And then the 784 is the 4% increase to make it 815, which is consistent with what the assessor has done. He's taken the previous assessment of 885 and added 4% to it. One multiplied that number by an additional 4%. I can't accept the recommendation because I don't have those instructions. The subject owner was happy with the 815 and is quite aware that we're still, the matter is pending before the municipal board. But that's how I got to my number. If I take off, well, number one and deduct the cost of renovating for a small bedroom. Plus the riverbank, I'm pretty close to that number too. That is my submission.
Thank you. Mr. Rahan, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Yes, Mr. Chair, if you may allow. Okay, sir, now just to verify that, you mentioned that the bedroom, there's only one bedroom, master bedroom on the property, is that correct?
There's the master bedroom, there's only one bedroom on the second floor.
On the second floor,
There are no bedrooms on the main floor. There is a bedroom in the basement. As you indicated in your brief, there are two full baths and one half, which would be on the main.
and, I've seen the quote here, it is to construct a bedroom with another three-piece bathroom, is that correct, or is it just to do a second bedroom on the second floor?
It's there is a small room already on the second floor. That. And that's the room he's talking about, creating a second bedroom with a three-piece bath.
And are there currently any foundational or structural issues with the house?
Not that I'm aware.
And so another thing I would like to ask is, so you mentioned that you 784 from, that's what you proposed at the last board hearing, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, but they did not reduce it to 784.
At the hearing. At the original hearing, it was reduced from.
Just about, if I may say something here before you go any further, the board will not put any weight on any previous board orders in their consideration of evidence.
I'm just, yeah, trying to clarify.
Yeah.
They rejected, it was reduced from 926 to 885. And at the 24, it was, the appeal was rejected, and that was then sent to the municipal court.
Okay. And I mean, the reason for me questioning is basically because he was driving, the number he was proposing is from that proposal. So that's why I asked the question.
Yeah.
No other reason. That will be all, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Arnall, any questions for the applicant?
Just clarification on that Winnipeg building. So that's to build a new bedroom on the second floor, correct? Plus a washroom?
And a three-piece bathroom.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Any questions?
Just a clarification, so that small room that exists already on the second floor has no access to a washroom?
Correct.
Except through the other bedroom?
Right.
And I have no questions. All been asked and answered. So, anything in summation, Mr. Hood?
No, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Anything in summation, Mr. Leslie?
No.
Okay, therefore that will conclude item number 7 to Deer Lodge Place.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Duncan. And Okay, we can proceed then to item number 10, 89 Eastgate. This is an application for revision on assessed value. Ms. Harland, would you please swear in the applicant?
I will, Mr. Chair. Mr. Applicant, would you please state your full name?
Keith Anthony Sand.
Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Okay, Mr. Rahan, you may, are there any preliminary issues before we start? No, many parties, either party?
I don't think so.
Okay. Mr. Rahan, you may begin your presentation.
Just confirm, Mr. Chair, it's 89 Eastgate, right? That's what we're doing first one?
89 Eastgate, yes.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Thank you. Subject property roll number is 12-12091682000. The street address is 89 Eastgate. It's in the neighborhood area of Armstrong Point. The building type is 2.5 story. It's a single dwelling. It was built in 1911. The living area of the property is 8,172 square feet. The basement type is full basement foundation. Basement is not finished. It has 5 full bath, 3 half bath, 1 shower, no central AC, 4 fireplaces, multiple detached garage, and the assessed lot size of 57,123 square feet. And the land influence of Assiniboine adjacent. The 2025 assessment for the subject property is at $983,000. The total assessment per square feet is 120.29 per square feet. The comparables we have is 4 for the subject for the property here. 3 of the properties, comp 1, 2, and 3, are all in Armstrong Point, same neighborhood as the subject, and the comp 4 is in Wellington Crescent. All the building type for all the comparables are similar as subject 2.5 story. They are all single dwelling. The era of build is ranging from 1907 to 1927. The living area is ranging for the comparables from 4,655 square feet to 6,017 square feet. All has the same basement type, full basement foundation. All the comparables have a finished basement. The only comparable number 3 has a central AC. For comparable 1 and 2 have 3 fireplaces, and comp 4 also has a 3 fireplace, and comp 3 has 1. They all have a multiple attached garage or a detached garage. And comp 2 has a in-ground pool on the property. The assessed lot size for the comparables is ranging from 52,125 square feet. 9,540 square feet to 52,125 square feet. Comp 1, 2, and 3 are all comp 1, 2, and 4 are all Assiniboine adjacent. And comp 3 has no land influences. Comp 2 also have a external corner influence, and comp 4 has a light traffic influence. The adjusted sales price for the comparables is ranging from $941,300 to $1,984,500, and the time adjusted sales price per square feet is ranging from $199.43 per square feet to $383.85 per square foot. With this in mind, I would like to recommend to maintain the current assessment of the subject property. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sander, any questions on the assessor's presentation?
My one question for the 89 Eastgate property. When you said an attached, detached, or attached, the garage situation. What did you say again?
I said, comparables either has a.
Not the comparables, the actual 89 Eastgate.
attached garage.
Okay, with the way you worded it, I wasn't sure because, okay, that's fine. I'll make a comment on that when I get to it, I guess. Should I do it now?
Oh, no, when do you do your presentation?
Okay,
Yeah, because of that. Any more questions for the executive?
I don't think so, no, that's, appreciate it.
Okay. Mr. Arnold, any questions on the assessor's presentation?
Just the one, on your comparable number 4, would it be fair to say that the land value is the difference in price for the most part?
For most part, yes.
Okay, thank
I
you.
would say the neighborhood is also another factor. The Wellington Crescent, I would say has more prestige and more valuable than the Armstrong Point.
Okay, and have you viewed the subject property?
No, I did try to contact the applicant few times, but there was no answer.
Me?
What the application number that we have on file.
Oh.
So
Oh.
I did try it, but there was no answer, so I did a exterior inspection, I drive by the property, so yeah, I have no interior knowledge of the property at this time.
Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
Sorry.
I must not have put my phone on there. Okay.
Ms. Redmond, any questions for the assessor?
No, nothing further. I was going to ask a question about the Wellington Crescent property as well, so that's been covered. Thank you.
Okay. So the subject property comparison 1 and 2 and 3. The effective year built is very close to the actual year built. Based on the age of the structure.
Yeah.
Is there just no renovations done to these properties since then that you've been aware of, or?
More or less,
Isn't that sort
sorry, more or less, I mean, not a lot of upgrades. It's, there's still, those properties are still hot, like heated with the hot boiler system, they don't have the force there. As I mentioned, the Armstrong Point is kind of a area where the characteristics of the houses are more vintage. And people usually keep it as it is. So these properties are mostly in original condition. Of what they were originally, just, you know, maintaining work and all that kind of work.
Do you have time adjusted sale prices going from 199 to 383? That 383 is because of the Wellington instead of the Armstrong Point. Is that fair assumption?
That's fair assumption.
The assessment for the subject is at $120 a square foot.
Correct.
That's quite a bit less than any of your comparables.
Yes, I
What
would
is
like
the reason for
to,
that?
I would like to add is, when I'm reviewing this property here is. I have received evidence from the applicant regarding the condition of the property. And we are already considering in this assessment the condition. Prior to what he sent in, we knew that there were certain issues with the house. So we have the property at below average condition being assessed at. So that's what you see there, the assessment, if everything was good, if average or good with the property, it would have been higher. But right now, I think it is at the lowest of it. With being the living area at 8,000 square feet and the lot size is 57,000 square feet. Me adding the 4th comparable from Wellington Crescent was just to represent. Because that was the only property with that big lot size, but still in the square footage terms, there's no property, I could not find a property with 8,000 square feet being on the market.
Okay. I have no additional questions then, and so Mr. Sander, you can begin your presentation, please.
Thank you. I assume that you've all seen the list, so I don't necessarily need to go through all that. But I do want to put it into a perspective because the house is large, but we have, we're a community. I don't know if you saw this on the front. We're a community. We're eight families, say, maybe 2 or 3 single people that we all live together. We share our house, we share our utilities, we share everything, and we take care of it to the best of our means, but we don't have in our lives the prerogative to generate much income for the sake of making lots of money, but we want to take care of our children. We want to make sure that we have a life that's together and that it doesn't, it's not compromised by many endeavors that would take us, maybe the houses could be in better shape. And right now, they're not in that very good of shape. You know, you look at the list, and there's many things that need to be increased. And we're working slowly at that. I mean, we are in the process of hoping to switch out windows, which are, I think, the original windows from when the house was built, as far as I know. But you know, there's a cost that we don't. Like if I looked at the property taxes, like it's about almost as much as we make in a year as a collective. You know, not maybe we make a little bit more, but we also have to pay our own schooling because we don't use the school system. We homeschool, so there's an expense to that too. So that takes a lot of our effort to train our children at home, to put them into the proper, you know, how they can have relationships with other people, which is really in today's society becoming a bit of a. It's hard to say what's going to happen, but all to say, so we're in a mode where we're trying to cover the costs of all of this. And I understood a little bit that residential taxes aren't really rising, they're more in the commercial side. So fair enough. I don't see that the increase is all that unreasonable from what even the assessor says. But the school tax is one part of our plight, but apparently it doesn't seem that there's much of an avenue to get school taxes reduced because of the way the city does things. So that's fair, I understand that too. I'm just looking for a way to meet a little bit in the middle on this one because of our chosen lifestyle. How we do what we can, we do most of the work ourselves because we can't really afford to pay people to do it. So that's why the houses are in the shape they are. There's many needs. I mean, there's potential asbestos in the roof. I talked to a realtor and he said, well, there's a very good possibility. I don't know that there is for sure. There is issues with old windows, the house itself from the outside. I don't know if it's been repointed. I don't know. It's possible, but it's 100 years old, and there's some places where there's no mortar left in the brick. So there's expenses, and I'm not saying that isn't something we're thinking about and working toward. But I would make an appeal that there are given our chosen lifestyle, the fact that we homeschool, it becomes quite a burden to cover the costs of these things. It becomes quite a burden. And I mean, yes, it's a nice house, and the neighborhood used to be very nice, and it still is quite nice. But it's not, you know, it's not like it probably was. But it's a wonderful place to raise our children with a backyard that's big enough that we can actually give them space to run around and go on the swings. And there's a few of them, but you know, it does it or so. So you know, it's a different lifestyle than most people are aware of. But there are certain, our plight is more in the humanitarian realm where we'd love to do energy efficiency in the windows, the repointing, the attic, for instance. We've got the riverbank that's degrading, the fence is falling in, you know, the things that I listed here. But it's more than that. It's more of the humanitarian. We want to be able to afford to live the way we do, which we don't live high and how do you say it, but we're just looking for an appeal to almost to eliminate the school taxes would be my honest plight, but I don't know that that's possible. So really, we don't have to do the second one. The second property that I'm here for is a similar situation. There's obvious repair, and I appreciate the city looking at that part of it too and understanding, they're not very well maintained, considering they're 100 years old. So there's much to be done, but there is a hope that we could
We will have to look at every property on an individual basis.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. No,
Yeah.
I don't need to bring that. I think that's all I would say. Express my heart about it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Rahan, any questions for the applicant on the presentation?
No, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Redmond, any questions for the applicant?
I have no questions at this time.
Mr. Arnault, any questions for the applicant?
None at this time, thanks.
Okay,
I appreciate your labors.
pardon me?
I appreciate your labors. Like it's. Appreciate your labors.
The asbestos, says cost 300,000 to clean that up.
Well, these are estimates. I don't have a clear picture. That's not, the only estimate that I had for this house was a window estimate, which I think I put in. I didn't do that. But it was $40,000 for the main floor. That was the quote we got last in July of this year.
So what are the requirements as pertaining to asbestos if you have it in your house and you have to get rid of it, or what is that?
I think for the sake of, if it was gonna be a value to resell, I mean, that's the whole point of, I guess, the valuation is for resale. We're not planning to resell it anyway, so it's kind of.
But you would have to disclose that in an offer sheet or something.
I would expect
But
that
as
they
a seller,
want to see it, yeah.
okay. So I'm just looking at those.
It's different than 25, 30 years ago. We bought the house in 80, 90, 99, I think, before the environmental issues became prevalent.
Okay, that was any one of my questions. How long you lived there? So that would be 25 years.
26 years.
So were the windows that are there right now, they were in when you moved in?
Yeah. Yeah, they're all original. I mean, from what I can tell, they're all original. And most of the screens are gone. I mean, not I shouldn't say that, but there's quite a few screens that are gone. We
There's
replaced,
quite a few windows on the front elevation there.
Oh, yes. we have one window replaced recently. That's about the first I've seen.
Lots of money.
Oh, yeah. No, we're talking about one back room where it has all windows, and we should always get rid of these windows because there's no, like, well, one thing I wanted to mention too is that it says fireplaces. But we really, the only, since I've lived there, there were two that worked, and now we're down to. We would need to redo the insides of all the chimneys. I think there's one fireplace insert that used to work that was more, but we had to replace one of the other house, but we didn't do this house, and I think it's because of just children using a lot too much wood, and it kind of worked it.
So you're asking for 840,000 as a,
Well, I was gonna go for a 25% discount, if that, whatever that would be. I don't remember what number it was, 983. So I'll go for 750.
because I thought it said 840 somewhere on here.
Well, I think it's 983 is the proposed assessment. I'm going at, based on the proposed assessment, not the current, so that's what I'm going for. Okay. I think it's 983, isn't it?
Like the page here, it says total 840 in the bottom. That's for the repairs, okay, excuse me.
Okay, yeah, the 2025 was 983,
Right, so, okay,
25% discount on
sorry, what was the total that you're asking for again?
it. We'll go 750, because I don't know the calculator.
I have no further questions, Mr. Rahan, anything in summation?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'm, as I said, I'm totally aware of the condition of the property from the outside and inside. But in terms of, my job is to do an assessment of the property.
Yeah.
And I mean, based on the comparables we have, we can see it's a huge lot size with, 8,000 square feet. And the comparables that I put in, they're all smaller. With no deficiency, they are selling for in the range, if I'm just talking about the Armstrong point, they are selling in the range of 940 to 1.2 million. So I believe the 983 is a fair assessment of the property based on the current condition with deficiencies. Thank you.
Anything in summation, Mr. Sanders?
I think that's fine.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your presentation.
You're welcome.
And that concludes the matter of item number 1089 Eastgate. So if nobody tells me that they want a break, then I'm gonna keep going.
I wouldn't mind 2 minutes to go let the dog out.
Okay, well, let's make it 5 minutes then, okay?
Perfect, thank you.
So we will go into recess. Okay, we're back in order. We will now proceed to item 11, 90 Eastgate. An application for revision of the assessed value. And the applicant has already been sworn in. So Mr. Rahan, you can begin your presentation for this property.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is roll number 1209-182-0100. The address is 90 Eastgate. It's in the neighborhood area of Armstrong Point. The building type is 2.5 story, single dwelling, built in 1909. It has a living area of 5,930 square feet, full basement foundation with a finished basement, has 5 full baths and 4 half baths. There is no central AC, 1 fireplace. It has multiple attached garage. There is an in-ground pool on the property and a sunroom. The assessed lot size is 12,327 square feet with external corner land endpoints. The 2025 assessment is at 864,000 with total assessment per square foot at 145.70 per square feet. The comparables we have are 4 here. Comp 1, 3, and 4 are similar neighborhood as the subject. Comp 2 is in the Crescentwood neighborhood. All the comparables are 2.5 story, built between 1907 to 1913. The living area is ranging from 3,788 square feet to 4,655 square feet. All of them has a full basement foundation. Only Comp 3 has no basement finish. And then only Comp 1 has a central AC. All the properties have a multiple garages on the property, and the lot size is ranging from 9,227 square feet to 12,653 square feet. And only Comp 2 has a light traffic and a school influence. The time adjusted sales price for the property is ranging from $786,800 to $941,300. The time adjusted sales price per square feet is ranging from 178.26 to 207.71 per square feet. I would like to add on to my presentation is based on the evidence submitted by the applicant regarding the condition of the property. I would like to recommend a lower assessment of $555,000 for subject property.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that, sorry.
I would like to recommend a lower assessment based on the evidence submitted by the applicant at $555,000.
555?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Well, Sander, what do you feel about that recommendation?
That is pretty reasonable, and I would concur.
Okay.
I just have one comment to make. Sunroom, what do you mean by sunroom by chance?
A sunroom is an area which is not heated in the house.
Okay, because we have a sun deck.
Is it covered?
It's screened, but there's no windows.
No, but is it like covered?
It is covered,
Yeah,
but
that's.
there's no, like, it's completely ventilated, like there's no way to keep the cold air out.
Yeah, but it's like, it's covered with the windows, but there's no heat in there, right?
There's no windows.
There's no windows, it's
No.
all open,
It's just a screen, like a mosquito screen.
just a mosquito
So
screen.
I'm just discerning like what is the
Okay,
difference between
okay.
sun and sun deck, that's all.
Okay, we can update that, it's totally fine.
And then both, I mean, this garage, I mean, this is fine, but I just want to update the comparables because. We have a garage built, we have a building where there used to be a garage, but now it's just storage and a walk-in cooler.
Okay,
And we don't use, and same with the first property too. Like
Well,
there's-
we have to just carry on with
Fair enough.
the process here.
Okay,
Okay, I just wanted to get your
sorry.
feedback on the recommendation.
I appreciate it.
Carry on. Okay. Anything else to add there? Okay,
that's all.
so, yeah, now is there any questions you have for the assessor?
No, just, I mean, I can, well, yeah, not really. I can. Go to the assessor's office.
Ms. Redmond, do you have any questions for the assessor?
Why the reduction, why?
Why the reduction? The $864,000 is assessed at a property with no deficiencies. So, and we were not aware of it. As I said, I tried contacting the homeowner, but I couldn't get through. So when he sent in his evidence, it clearly shows that the property is not in an ideal condition as it should be. There are some deficiencies to be considered. So based on that, then we set the condition of the property below average, and that's how I derived my value from. It is a model derived value. Thank you.
Mr. Arnold, any questions for the assessor?
None at this time, thanks.
And I have no questions. Do you wish to present still?
I don't think I need to.
Okay, then there are no questions to be asked then on the applicant's presentation. Anything in summation?
No.
Anything in summation?
Thank you. Thank you.
Then this concludes the matter of item 11, 90 Eastgate.
So then I will.
No, you're.
Thank you so much. Some to the judge.
Get a chance.
You know what you're doing here.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Good day.
So we have Ashley and Nancy, Ray Chairman in the waiting room.
Stay.
The Ray Chairs are in the waiting room.
Yes, I'm going to let him in. Good afternoon, Mr. Richer. Can you hear us or can you hear me?
I can, yes. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes, thank you.
Okay, we can move on to the next item on the agenda then. Item number 12, 129 Eastgate. This is a application for revision of assessed value. Ms. Harlan, can you please swear in the applicant?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Mr. Applicant, would you please state your full name?
Ash Ritura?
Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Rahan, you can begin your presentation on this property.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Subject property, roll number is 1209168900. The address is 129 Eastgate, neighborhood area of Armstrong Point. The building is a one-story built in 1953. The living area is 1,228 square feet. It has a full basement foundation with a finished basement. Has a full bath, 1/2 bath, 1 shower. It has a central AC, multiple garage. The assessed lot size of the property is 15,873 square feet with Assiniboine adjacent. The current assessment for 2025 for the property is 588,000. The total assessment per square feet is 478.83 per square feet. The comparables, I'm presenting 4 comparables for this property here. Comp 1 and 2 are the same neighborhood as the subject property, Armstrong Point. Comp 3 is Wellington Crescent, and Comp 4 is from Wolseley. All the building type for the comparables are 1-story. The area of build is ranging from 1922 to 1954. The living area is ranging from 906 square feet to 1278 square feet. All of them has a full basement foundation except for Comp 2, which has a full and part basement foundation. All the comparables have the finished basement. Only Comp 2 has no central AC. All of the other comparables have a central AC. Comp 1 has a multiple garage. Comp 2, 3 has a single attached garage, and Comp 4 has no garage. Comp 2 has an in-ground pool, and Comp 1 has a sunroom on the property. The assessed lot size is ranging from 3,575 square feet to 10,177 square feet. For Comp 1, the land influences are commercial adjacent, and it's an external corner. And there are no land influences for Comp 2 and Comp 3. Comp 4 has a Assiniboine adjacent land influence. The time adjusted sales price is ranging from $462,700 to $675,400. The time adjusted sales price per square feet is ranging from $362.05 to $624.06. I would like to make a recommendation. I would like to recommend to the board to maintain the current assessment for 2025 at $588,000 for the subject property. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Rachura, do you have any questions for the assessor on his presentation?
Just one small one and really well done. Just wanting to understand the commercial adjacent to Eastgate. Is that referring to the bed and breakfast that's across the street? Otherwise, I'm not sure there is a commercial adjacent there, but I don't know that's important to what we're dealing with today.
Well, it's a land influence. If the property is directly on backing onto a certain kind of a commercial lot, that's why it's there. But let me just verify it. It's a bed and breakfast, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I have for questions, I suppose.
Thank you. Mr. Arnaud, any questions for the assessor?
No, did you view this property at all? I'm just
Can you repeat the question again, sir, please?
did you view this property at all?
No, I did not read the property.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had.
Ms. Redmond, any questions?
No further questions at this time.
I was going to suggest, given the last two cases before you, we might have met on Eastgate for this part of the meeting.
Yeah. This is on the river, this property subject.
Yes, sir.
Right, yeah.
Your comps. One of them is on the river. One of them is a little back. The other one's a little back. All the other ones are, except for one, they're not on the river, correct?
Yes, only Comp 4 is Assiniboine adjacent.
Assiniboine adjacent. That's a very narrow lot.
It's a very small lot. significantly smaller.
Whereas the subject lot is quite large.
There's about like 12,000 square feet difference.
So you got it about in the middle in terms of time adjusted square foot price. That'd be fair to say. Oh, or, yeah,
Yeah, that'll be fair to say because I've used, I mean, the square footages are not very off, they're very similar, all the comparables except for the comfort.
mhm.
And the Assiniboine adjacent itself is a very big factor in the value of the land. And then like 15,000 square feet lot is, it's the biggest among the comparables, so I believe it's fair.
And so, and it was sold in 2015 for 420,000.
Yes.
Okay, I have no further questions then. So, Mr. Richura, you can begin your presentation.
Super, thank you very much. So maybe just continuing on your last kind of question statement about when I purchased the property in 2015, 420,000. I will say that was below market value. The property had been on the market for quite some time. It was removed from market, went back onto the market, advertised in the free press, and that's when I noticed it. Very surprised to see it. I called the listing agent and they had no plans to do anything. I said, is there a showing? There was nothing planned. When I went to see the house, to my judgment perspective, it was empty nesters looking at the home. So it is relatively smaller in the neighborhood, maybe in, I don't know what the average is in the city of Winnipeg, but at 1,200 square feet, there were no families looking to purchase this home. At that purchase price, my opinion is that people can buy bigger, newer homes elsewhere, and that this is a pretty niche space. I love it. I think it's worth what I paid for it, but it's not easy to sell. And I can point to a good number of properties in the neighborhood that have been on the market for some time. People love where they live. They're attached to it. They think it has a certain value, but on the open market, it's only specific people that appeal to these properties. I provided a list of my own attempt at comparables. It's pretty extensive. I don't feel I had quite the resources that maybe are available to city staff to come up with all the different attributes of a home. So what I presented was the year built, living area, and the time adjusted sale price. That's the information that was provided in the link on the letter that I received with my assessment. And so you'll see there, I tried to choose, for the most part, properties in the 50s, late 40s, in the 1,200 square foot range. And a lot of them, I've kind of got it broken into two pieces. I'm not sure if you have that in front of you. Can anybody?
All I have is the Excel spreadsheet.
Yes,
Last page, is that what you're looking at or referring to?
yes. Yeah. So there's kind of two sets of the first 16 rows. I tried to stay within the house features, so 1-story, year built, living area, and tried to pick neighborhoods and properties that were similar. There's not a lot of river property, so I tried to find some where I could. Kingston Row, East and Westgate. Well, Westgate's not quite on the river. Roslyn Crescent, Country Club Boulevard, and they were all falling quite a bit lower than my assessed value. Then I went through the same information that was available to the public, and try to find homes in a similar neighborhood, so close to the river, in quieter neighborhoods, Wolseley, Elm Park, Norwood West, closer to the range of my assessed value, and seeing that those homes were quite a bit newer or much, much larger. So just trying to present my case there, where I think this assessment might have been on the high end. when I go back and look at the history of my assessed value on this property, I only kept my records back to 2019. So 2019, it was 465, 2020, 490, 2023, 519, and now in 25, we're going up to 588. So we kind of had a 5% increase, a 6% increase, and this last one is 13%. And I struggle to see that growth in the market, and I'm not a real estate person. I don't really know if the market in Winnipeg has jumped like that, but this is the rationale for my appeal in this case, is that the increase seems quite a bit higher than in the past. And when I look at other properties, sales of homes in my neighborhood, and the limited, in my view, market for my property, it seems to me that the assessed value is a bit high. I would love to be able to sell it for 588. I'm not sure it would go for that.
Okay, that's your presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Han, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I have a few questions. I'm looking at the Excel sheet, the comparables you listed down. But there's no time frame of when they were sold.
Right. So that's my short notes. Again, I didn't spend as much time as I maybe would have liked to, or maybe I spent more time than I wanted to. I took the time adjusted sale price. I figured that was what was provided in the instructions as far as how to compare and compare your assessment to others. So that is just the time adjusted sale price. I didn't include when it was sold and what the actual value was. I'm sure that information is available to you.
Yeah, because I mean, there are no addresses here. It's just, it says 1 story and arrow built
Oh,
on the Excel sheet. Yeah.
you're missing part of the sheet then. There are 2 more columns. I provided address, market region, building type, year built, living area, time adjusted sale
Oh.
price.
The same thing as you.
I don't have that either.
Yeah,
We
Okay.
don't have that information.
Do you want me to share my screen and you can see the full spreadsheet then? Or, I mean, it's kind of short to have that, but I definitely submitted the full thing. You've got part of it, so I'm not sure in the relay of information on your end that part of it was cut off. That's really unfortunate. But I definitely provided addresses and market regions for each property. That's really unfortunate because I spent a good
That's
amount
we're
of time
missing
putting this
column
together.
A and B, that's what we're missing.
Yeah. Which is kind of critical to your
Mr. Chair, that was how the information was presented when it was sent. We
Well, this is a
Yeah.
photo of a spreadsheet, correct?
Yeah.
So that's why.
Try to share, screen share.
You want me to do that?
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody else can, so.
Oh, sure. I think that's the right.
Now we see it.
Yeah, can, Mr. Assessor, are you able to see that?
Yes, I'm able to see it.
Okay. Then you can carry on that basis then. Can you see it, Mr. Arnold?
Yeah, I can see it. Yep.
Even bigger even. There we go. I wanted to put in number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, but I couldn't find that information online. The linked information, that too, if I can suggest, the format presented was an Excel spreadsheet, but in PDF form, which is really difficult to search quickly. I'm saddened a bit that you folks were provided a photograph of an Excel spreadsheet that I provided as well. I mean, spreadsheets are functional and you can search and look at them a bit quicker than a photograph where things can get clipped off. But anyways, here I've listed my property at the top, and then here's the list. So you can see column CDE, but here's where I provided addresses all the way through. Interesting that we both chose 45 Eastgate as a comparable, so there's some commonality in our review. Like I said, I tried to look at first addresses in similar neighborhoods same building type, same year or similar living area, and then went further and tried to match up more time adjusted sale price, similar neighborhood, giving you addresses so you can look them up exactly, but you can see these are 2.5 story for the most part, and the living area is quite a bit larger than what I have. This one would be the same.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing the spreadsheet. So further questions I have regarding the comparables is, I see that you have chosen 45 Westgate. Are you aware of the lot size of that property?
Yes.
And do you feel it's significantly smaller than yours?
Yeah, for sure. The pool takes up the whole yard pretty much. It has a pool.
It has a pool, yes. It also has, are you aware that it only has a single garage on the property, single attached garage?
Yeah.
Okay. And would you say a Assiniboine River adjacent lot will sell for more? Or will have a more value than one just a normal lot in the neighborhood?
It's my preference would be yes. Others would prefer a pool and not to be on the river. I can't say what any person would want per se. But for me, I really like being on the river, although last night I didn't enjoy the mating fox that kept me up for a good chunk of the night.
Okay, and now since purchase, have you made any upgrades or improvements to the house?
So the basement was finished, as you noted. We did build a sunroom on the back. It's not attached to the home as it is for 2 Eastgate, so I'm familiar with my neighbors at 2 Eastgate. Very similar home. I've actually asked them if we could walk through each other's homes to compare prior to the assessment. This is just neighbor curiosity kind of thing. So I'm not sure how the sunroom, if it matters if it's attached to the house or not. Like you mentioned, our lot is bigger, so we have space. The sunroom is not attached to the house by any means.
Okay, so at the time of purchasing the property, the basement was not finished,
That's correct.
okay? Okay, yeah, that will be all for my questions.
Thank you. Ms. Radman, any questions for the applicant?
No questions for the applicant.
Mr. Arnall, any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, I must have missed it. So what is it that you're asking for? Like, what do you feel a fair assessment would be?
Oh, thanks for asking. Yeah, that wasn't asked. If I look at the historical increases over the last, well, since 2019, it's been 5-6%. 6% would be 550. I could live with that. I mean, I'll live with whatever's done. I'm not moving. But I think, keeping with the past increases of 5 and 6%, I think 6% is fair. If I could go back and maybe ask the question on how we come to 13%, when historically in my short history it's been 5-6%. It seems like a big increase.
Yeah, that's the only question I had. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, that's I don't have any questions then, so. Yeah, I think the assessor has made his case already, his presentation. So we will then, anything in summation,
No. Thank you.
Mr. Applicant, anything in summation on your presentation?
No, all good. Thanks so much for your time.
Okay. That concludes this matter of item 12-129 Eastgate then.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, you're free to go. Thank you.
Okay, thanks again.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Olson is available.
Just a moment, please.
407 is available.
Just a moment, please. Hello, can you hear us?
Yep,
Just a
hello.
moment, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
I can, yeah.
Yeah, Miss Olafson is my partner. I am using her computer. And she was intending to be here, but we didn't anticipate it would be as long a process. But
Hello, can
I'm,
you hear us?
yep,
Just a
hello.
moment, please.
Yes, I am Matt Magura. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes, thank you.
I can, yeah.
yes. Yeah, Miss Olafson is my partner. I am using her computer.
We've got some kind of strange feedback.
Somebody's echoing here.
I tell you, I see what's going on. As long a process. Here we are.
That's better.
You bet. Sorry, I forgot I was following along on YouTube, and now we're hopefully in line.
So he is authorized to speak for his property.
They're co-owners.
Yes, I am Matt Magura, the second person on the application for revision.
And Ms. Olson is available or does not want to be on the call.
No, had to work at 2:30. We were unaware it was a docket, if you will. So that's why I asked. I said presumably if we're last on the list, and we're last to present. So here we are. I am flying solo at the moment.
Okay, we are going to proceed then with item 1576 Middlegate. This is an application for revision of assessed value. Are there any preliminary issues for me to party?
No.
Okay, then, Mr. Assessor, you can begin your presentation.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is roll number 12091769000. The street address is 76 Middlegate. It's in the neighborhood area of Armstrong Point. It's a one-story 1952 built, living area of 2,224 square feet, with a full basement foundation, and the basement is finished. It has 4 half bath and 3 showers. It has a central AC, a attached multiple garage. The lot size is 9,073 square feet, with an external corner land influence. The 2025 assessment is $615,000. The total assessment per square feet is 276.53 per square feet. All the comparables I'm presenting there are 4 comparables. They are all in Armstrong Point. All of them are 1-story built between 1944 to 1954. The living area is ranging from 1,254 square feet to 2,002 square feet. All of them has comp 1 and comp 2 has a full basement foundation, whereas comp 3 and comp 4 has a full or part basement foundation. All the properties in the comparables have a finished basement. Comp 1 has 2 fireplaces and comp 2 has 1 fireplace. All of the property have multiple attached garage except for comp number 4, which has a single attached garage. Comp 2 and comp 3 has a sunroom on the property, and comp 4 has a in-ground pool. The lot size is ranging from 6,741 square feet to 10,177 square feet. Comp 1 and comp 3 has a external corner land influence. Comp 3 also has a commercial adjacent land influence. The time adjusted sale price is ranging from $462,700 to $929,400. The time adjusted sale price per square feet is ranging from 342.36 per square feet to 464.24 per square feet. I would like to recommend to the board to maintain the current assessment of $615,000 at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Magura, do you have any questions for the assessor presentation?
Yes, specifically on number 2 Eastgate, the commercial adjacent. I was listening to the previous applicant, and commercial adjacent refers to the fact that it's just backing onto a bed and breakfast, right?
Yes, back onto a commercial lot, yes.
Okay, and I was curious though, does frontage relates to the property tax assessment, correct, right? Because the shape of that lot, the 10,000 square foot comparable at number 2 Eastgate, it's quite a bit of a larger frontage. I was just curious whether that is what it was, but I now understand what commercial adjacent is referring to. But also the question being, if one of the previous items on the docket, I know there are neighbors, they just told us that they went through this process over the phone and had their value reduced to $750,000, and that is comparable number 2, I believe, down from $929,000. Do I need to make a formal request to have that acknowledged ahead of time, or can I just say it, or is that even admissible?
You don't have any documentation to the effect.
No, I do not, but that would be on.
It is an assessment anyway, so we can't consider that.
Okay. Except that just happened today over the phone instead of during this process.
That is an assessment.
Okay.
And these are comparisons of value, of market value, right?
Okay. Okay.
Compare assessments.
Sure. Yeah, I understand. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so you were still asking questions, correct?
He was asking questions. I just presented.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you're still.
I'm good for questions ahead of time.
Okay, then Mrs. Redmond, do you have any questions?
The only one I had was, and I don't know if this is a valid question or not, under the comp 2, would you know, because the effective year built is 1973,
Yes.
would that indicate that they have done some renovations in this time period?
Yes, there, so I would like to also add answers with this question is subject property, it has had no upgrades. It's a very 1952 original build. They've had done nothing to the property at all. Whereas the comparables, comp number 2 has like upgraded kitchen, but they still have that hot water boiler system on the property. So not a lot of upgrade, but yeah, significantly better condition than the subject.
Mr. Chair.
Okay, Mr. Arnall, any questions for the assessor?
No questions at this time, thanks.
And I have no questions. Therefore, we can proceed with your presentation, Mr. McGurk.
Okay, and thank you. I guess we're at the end of the rope, so thank you for holding out as long as we all have here. Our application is based primarily on what we understand to be market value. In our case, probably 1 year ago, August 25th, 2023, and our main entry is purchase price. We did bid lower than the original asking price, which was, I believe, $620. The current city assessment is $615, so perhaps that's why they were asking $620 for the place. But as was noted, the place is, other than a roof which was replaced 10 years ago, I believe the last time any changes to the property were done were in perhaps 1977, or maybe in 87, because 87 is when the in-law suites, or whatever you want to call it, was turned. There was an in-law suite that was built onto the existing garage. A new garage shortened our driveway and is now in front of that in-law suite, which is basically just a room that has one of the 4 half bathrooms in it. And also wanted to make note of the fact that the original square footage of the house, including the basement, was around 1,700 square feet. So that in-law suite, the 2,200 square foot in question, is only above grade. Beneath the ground, the full basement is the same footprint as the original house, which is 1,700 square feet. Now, if market value refers to what people are willing to pay for a house, that's when I think it's reasonable that what we paid for it is what the market value is. The house sat on the market. It's a pretty.
Mr. Figueroa, I'll just have to interrupt you here because you're speaking about the sale price of your subject property.
Yep.
Dated August 25th, 2023.
Correct.
So that is after the reference date of April 1st
Of this year.
of April of 2023.
August of 2023.
Yes, so that's after the reference date.
Okay.
We cannot consider any sales after reference date.
I see. You mean the amount of money that we paid for it on the market 1 year ago is not taken into consideration by you, correct?
Yes, you'll see that the assessor's evidence as well, everything is up to and including the reference date. That's
Okay.
what evidence is considered for comparables.
Okay. Fair enough. Now I guess that is my main point, is that we paid for it after it sat on the market for a month and nobody was interested. I guess if there's anything else I can say is that the amount of work that the reason that we paid what we paid for, I think, is because we appealed to them saying that there's, say, at least $100,000 worth of upgrades to bring it up to the times. Like in the information we provided with you, there's a number of repairs, which I can understand, renovations being done to a home, increasing the value of it. I understand the square footage of it, but also the fact that, like, we have to spend money on this home in order to either mitigate damage to the foundation. It is technically a 1-bedroom, 2,000 square foot home. It is definitely not a cookie cutter home. It's very set back on the property. It is the same square footage as our neighbors at 70 Eastgate say, but their house is much more forward facing. It's square, it's updated and everything like that. This is a very unique, very outdated home that in my opinion, there's a reason nobody bid on it for over a month. And then we essentially offered $70,000 beneath, or we got it for $70,000 beneath their asking price, which is $65,000 less than your assessed value of it. But we have significant repairs to do in order to have it considered a whole home. Like the glass block windows in the basement are outdated. We have to get rid of them in order to have an egress in the rooms that could be considered bedrooms, but are not, you know. And we have problems with the eaves. There is evidence of water damage in our garage where there's a hole in one of the eaves troughs, which are quite old. But essentially the biggest factor is the grading issue on our house. There's point in the northeast corner of our home where the ground less than 6 feet from the house is nearly a foot higher than the bottom layer of brick on our house. And that's because the previous owners, for whatever reason, I believe, just kept adding on to their garden space. And now it's quite a bit higher. You know, we can see we put huge extensions on our eaves in order to get the water as far away from the house as we can. But the water damage is apparent from the past, and the moisture is significant in the basement. So these are things that we have to do in order to remediate the forward the incoming issues with the house. All to say, we consider that to be repairs versus renovations. In my opinion, keeping the value of the home closer to what we paid for. We propose anything around the $575,000 mark. We bought a house without a working boiler. Once we turned it on in the fall, we established it was inoperable, leaking carbon monoxide. It was a 44-year-old boiler. That is an outdated system. I know you consider forced air to be upgraded, but we've bought a brand new boiler, which is high efficiency, etc. But that was an $18,000 expense we did not anticipate. We are also, I'd also want to make note that there are 2 air conditioning units, one of them servicing only that little in-law suite, but small point, like it stays cool because there's no windows. It's not really allowed, it's not really a hot room, even in the hottest days of summer. But we noticed that there is water damage from our AC unit, which we ran this summer. And actually, the AC unit itself is low on refrigerant because we've had specialists come in and take a look at it. It does function. However, the catch pan beneath the unit, which is located in our roof, which nobody now wants to go up and work on and replace like versus like air conditioning unit in our roof in a small crawl space, because I could go into it, but because of new regulations on refrigerants, which is more flammable, more efficient, but more flammable. So anyway, all the professionals are saying we're not going to replace like versus like in your roof. We have to do a whole new install in your basement, run it up through the walls, and all to say, to exist to our or to connect to our existing ventilation for the AC. But so we don't have air conditioning because the pan beneath the AC unit has rusted out and is leaking now. And it leaked once this summer through our roof. I have done a very patchy job to redirect the water flow directly into the pipe, but it is by no means like a permanent fix, right? So we have those expenses to consider moving forward as well. Yeah, so the AC and the grading issues, the windows, and even just the uniqueness of the home. It's very set back in the lot. It's not a predictable cookie cutter, similar style home. And in my opinion, has very limited audience, which is why I think it did not sell for what the current assessment is at, if that makes sense. Excuse me. Oh, if I may, regarding your comparables, you can stop me if it isn't a factor because what the sale price is, but each of the proposed time-adjusted sale prices for the comparables are, up 44 for comparable one, it's up $44,000 after 3.5 years. 2 was up 118,000 after 4 years. Comparable 3 is up 60,000 after 4 years. And comparable 4 on Westgate, they obviously must have fought it or had it adjusted. It's actually reduced by $22,000 since 2002. So when I looked at it and say, like, if we paid $55.50 for it, the assessed value is $65,000 over in 1 year. To me, that doesn't really but also
You're breaking up
say
there.
if the average increase is 4% a year. Sure. Pardon me. Is that better?
So are you asking questions on the assessor's presentation again, or?
Oh, I suppose so, yes. Table that, or?
Okay, so I'll allow 1 or 2 additional questions for the assessor on this presentation. Okay, can you re-ask those questions because you're breaking up?
Okay, sorry about that. My point was just that the proposed increase for our property value has gone up $65,000 from what we paid for the house. But if that's inadmissible, then I will resign for that, because the others, comparables 1 through 4, the increase was around 3.5 to 4 years. They'd all gone up, 1,200 or 12 grand a year, 12, 15 grand a year, say, but ours is 65 grand after just 1 year of owning the place, based on what we paid for the place. So I don't know if that didn't necessarily seem fair to me, but if it's inadmissible based on the fact that we purchased after April, I'm okay with that.
Mr. Rohan, any questions for the applicant?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I have a few questions there. I see in your evidence, you submitted a few comparable properties.
Okay.
And only one of them, which is 76 Middlegate. that
No,
you
we are
submitted.
76 Middlegate.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but yeah, that's the subject property used as comparable here.
Mhm.
All the properties that you provided as evidence, they're
Oh.
not in the proximity of your own property. Is that correct?
Well, technically, I'm actually unfamiliar with the exact area that we, being north of the river, are still connected to, but I know it's like the Wellington Crescent, River Heights sort of area. Tuxedo, is it not? Like,
I mean, so if I live down here, there's 676 Niagara Street here.
Mhm.
On the evidence here.
Mhm.
That's quite near Grand Avenue. It's far away from your home, pretty
Wow.
far away,
Reasonably.
reasonably. So I just wanted to know, like, did you not find any comparables in your own close proximity with similar features or similar square footage?
Well, you provided comparables and we were willing to accept those, sure. But the reason that these were compared is because of sale price, because of years built, because of square footage, similar to the previous applicant. We just did a number of comparables in our own research, so we have a bit of a better understanding what homes are selling for. Like, we were looking on the market for 4 years prior to actually buying a house, so we have seen the jumps, especially during COVID times, etc. We know that a lot of homes were sold for wildly inflated amounts because people simply wanted to get into a home, but I don't believe that necessarily reflects the market value for the neighborhood. It's as far as comparables in our immediate neighborhood, I don't know that, other than your submissions that which again we're fine with. One that we did was 93 Middlegate, and that's a similar era build, almost exact same square footage lot, but a fully renovated house with 2 fireplaces, and their assessed value or their sale price was right around what our assessed value is, right? Sale price for $630,000. But that home sat on the market for over 300 days and sold. And so again, just speaking to the fact that there is limited audience for some of these homes in the conditions that they are, because of the heritage status in Armstrong's Point, which is something we were interested in. We know that there's not a whole bunch of like new modern homes, etc. But I don't think that that's much of a factor.
Can I make a comment regarding his answer?
Yeah.
Also, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Regarding 93 Middlegate, you mentioned that it's fully renovated.
Mhm.
So I did review the pictures of the property on MLS of April 2021 sale. The basement is in a very bad shape. Probably more worse than the subject property of that property.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, It says the time adjusted sales price for that property is 674,100. Which is a significant gap between your assessment and their sales price, being it 300 square feet lower than yours.
May I
So,
make, may
Would
I?
would you say that the square, living area does play a part in valuation and the condition?
If I can say, I don't truly believe that their house would sell for that amount in this market, 100%. It's inflated in my opinion. And as
but
far as
currently-
the area is concerned, it's like this is an in-law suite that they built on the exterior of our house. It's basically just a room with a bathroom, and we, like I don't think that 2,200 square feet of living area is technically admissible because of the fact that we don't have egress windows in our basement. It's a one-bedroom home. There are barely even windows that open in the house. It's all glass block. Like this house was originally built as the Icelandic consulate and served as the consulate from 53 to 73 or something like that. And then the previous owners bought it from them and lived in it for 44 years and likely never contested. I don't actually know the history on it, but if they never contested the property value, then it just keeps going up and up and up. Whereas we're looking at it from our perspective, the amount of money that we need to spend in order to make the necessary repairs to mitigate future damage and complete devaluation of the home based on like a foundation catastrophe, that's what we are going on, I suppose. So I don't think that it's necessarily worth that amount, say 674.
Okay. And so just to mention, your property, that 2,200 square feet that you're mentioning, it's not for the basement area. It is
Okay.
above grade 2,200 square feet.
Yeah.
So just wanted to let you know. That'll be all, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Arnall, any questions for the applicant?
I just want a little bit of clarification on the match and the actual square footage.
Mhm.
So you're saying that you only have one bedroom on the main floor,
Mhm.
not including that granny suite, or I forget how you worded it, but
It's considered an in-law suite, but it is just a room with a bedroom attached to it. So yes, there is again, because of the nature of the original build, it was a consulate. It was designed for entertaining, host one consul general and his family, and there is a den upstairs. There's a main bathroom off of the bedroom, and there is a powder room. So you walk into the door, there's an 8x8 1-foot glass block accent, a staircase going downstairs, a greeting area. To the left is the den, which is the office. To the right is a powder room, a toilet, and a sink.
okay, but how many bedrooms?
One upstairs. It was on MLS as a 2,200 square foot 1-bedroom home.
One bedroom, not counting the in-law suite.
Correct, yes.
Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Redmond, any questions?
No further questions.
And I have no further questions. Mr. Rahan, anything in summation?
I do, Mr. Chair. So I'd like to mention, I provided all the comparables which are in the same neighborhood as the subject property. Now, the current assessment 615,000, I would like to mention that we are valuing this property at a below average property. We consider because we have spoken with the homeowners prior to the appeal months ago. They mentioned there were some deficiencies with the property, so it has been reduced from 683 to 615.
Not since that phone call. Sorry. The 615 is the number that we got. That phone call came about 2 weeks ago, right? We were unprepared for that.
No, I'm not talking about that phone call. You called in regarding back in March 2023. That's when we spoke with
Mhm.
one of you guys. I wasn't the person, so I don't know which one they spoke with. But
Okay,
that's
sure.
notes. But yet again,
I think-
just to mention, 93 Middlegate is exactly the same home as the subject. It's right across their home. If you see in the map, it's just across the street on that corner here. It has some upgrades, flooring, kitchen, but it has the same old character of the house as the subject. It has the same dated and old basement. Driveway is all cracked up. There are deficiencies with that house too. Yet again, we can see the time adjusted sales price, which is higher than the assessment. So based on the comparables and the evidence that I submitted, I believe the 615 is the fair value of the property. So yeah, that'll be all. Thank you.
Okay. Anything in summation, Mr. Madura?
Yeah, I mean, we have straight up 1970s kitchen. It has a glorious 3-foot like a 12-foot cubed Lazy Susan in there, which is awesome, but it's not very usable, say, for anything other than storage. Nothing, and all to say, like, it's completely outdated. Whereas a full flooring and kitchen remodeling, in my opinion, is considered renovation, and not just repair. I consider that to be upgrades. So for our home, having essentially 0 upgrades since the addition of that in-law suite, which again is removed from our home. When you enter our garage, you're looking at the existing brick wall, which was the old exterior wall of our home. The garage used to be connected by a breezeway. All to say, like, it's quirky and weird, and we love it, but we definitely intend to spend money on the home to increase the property. But in the meantime, we think a lower assessment is fair. After such upgrades are done, we of course would understand an over 600K, as in our letter, like anything over 600K seems reasonable, but we've got $50,000 to $100,000 to spend on upgrades before anything like that is even, there's no hardwoods underneath those glorious 40-year-old green carpets, which are in wonderful condition, but again, they're super dated. Like there are definitely projects in here. We bought the house because it wasn't going to fall down around us, but it's by no means up to date, say. But that's pretty much all. I could quickly review notes, but 93 Middlegate 2, they are exactly kitty corner on the lot, but they don't have anywhere near the same amount of traffic, say, that we do. I don't know if that's admissible, but for example, the buses from Balmoral Hall on Westminster and Yonge there, they wait all the way up our street at 3 o'clock from 2:30 till 3:30 every single day. And every morning in the morning, traffic zips over to Westgate and stuff. So it's kind of like a race course on our corner. And we also have the city mailbox located on our corner. It's just people are stopping well outside of the proper like the loading zones, etc. You know what I mean? Like, it's quite a bit. I'm too old to be a grumpy old man, or too young to be a grumpy old man about it at the moment. But like, there is quite a lot of things we weren't necessarily expecting on this nice corner lot in a otherwise wonderful neighborhood. It's great neighbors, etc. But that's about it for me.
Okay.
I do thank you all for your time. And
okay, thank you very much for your presentation, Mr. Magura, and this concludes this item 1576 Middlegate. And you are free to go. Thank you.
okay, have a good day, folks.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Back to item 2. Theodore erosion, still not available. Stewart. Okay. So we will then proceed to item number 2, 660 Stewart. The applicant is not available. So we are going to go in camera and consider if we're going to hear the evidence for this property. Okay, we are back. The panel has considered the matter with respect to item number 2, 660 Stewart. In the absence of the applicant, we will hear the evidence. So, Mr. Rahan, you may proceed with your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the subject property is roll number 072102700000. The address is 660 Stewart Street. It's in the neighborhood of Buchanan. The building type is 1-story, built in 1959. Living area of 954 square feet. I have a full basement foundation with a finished basement. It has 2 full bath, central air, no garage. The assessed lot size is 5,145 square feet. The assessment is currently at $331,000. Total assessment per square feet is $346.96 per square feet. The comparables I'm using are all on the same street as the subject. They're all from the same neighborhood. 1-story built between 1963 to 1964. The living area is ranging from 960 square feet to 1,070 square feet. They all have full basement foundation, same as subject, with the finished basement. They all have central AC. They all have the fireplace except comp number 2. Comp 1, 3, and 4 have a single detached garage. Comp 2 have a multiple detached garage. The lot size is ranging from 5,153 square feet to 5,157 square feet. Very close to the subject lot size. The time adjusted sales price is ranging from $335,200 to $397,400. With time adjusted sales price per square foot ranging from $338.51 per square feet to $371.40 per square feet. I've also added the comparable maps just to add where each comparable is located. There are also some pictures of the subject property. As you can see, there has been improvements to the property with new flooring, new bathroom, new kitchen, basement redone. The exterior is new, so that's why we have a effective year now of 1984. That'll be all, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Ms. Redmond, any questions for the assessor?
No questions for the assessor this.
Mr. Arnold, any questions for the assessor?
Well, all your comparables have a garage.
Yes.
So would you take that into consideration?
Yes, I did take everything into consideration when I was making my assessment review here. As we can see, properties with the garages. So comp 1, the time adjusted sales price is $397,400. It has the same upgrades as the subject, so there's a significant difference between the assessment and their sales price. Whereas comp 2 has a multiple detached garage. It's slightly bigger with upgrades, so it's still the sales time adjusted sales price is higher than the subject. And the last 2 comparables, which is 837 Stewart and 789 Stewart, they have no upgrades at all, and they have a single detached garage. So the price is ranging between $335,200 to $340,200. So yeah, based on the condition, I would say it's supported.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had.
Thank you, Mr. Arnold. Each subject sale of June 21st, 21, 220,000.
Yes.
quite a bit less than the 2023 assessment. Any comments on that?
Yes. So I did have a conversation with the homeowner regarding the sale, and I also requested to do an inspection on the property, which they declined. And when I asked them about that, why they purchased it for $220,000, they said the property was not in a good condition at the time of purchase. Now, this property was not listed on any other public platforms. It was a private sale as verified by the homeowner. She said that her son helped her purchasing the property. So, and there were some deficiencies, but she did not list it down, those deficiencies.
So are you implying that it's not an arm's length sale in that case then?
I believe so, yes, at this time.
That's all the questions I have. We have received the applicant's evidence and reviewed. Therefore, if anything in summation,
No, sorry. Oh, thank you.
therefore we can conclude item number 2, 660 Stewart Street. And we will proceed to item 4, 350 Truro. Is Mr. Scott available?
No,
Sorry.
nobody here.
Okay. Therefore, we will then go in camera to decide if we are going to hear the evidence on this property. Okay, we are back in order and we are going to, the board has deliberated and decided to hear the evidence, item number 4, 354 Truro. In absence of the applicant, this is an application for revision of assessed value. So, Mr. Rahan, I would ask you to proceed with your presentation on this property.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Roll number for the subject property is 0704-0324000. The street address is 354 Truro Street. The building type is 1-story, built in 1924. Living area 640 square feet with a full basement foundation. They have a finished basement with 1 full bath. There is a single detached garage property with a lot size of 2,793 square feet. The current assessment for the property is at $193,000 with assessment per square feet at 301.56 per square foot. The comparables we have are all from the same neighborhood except for Comp 4, which is King Edward. They are all 1-story built between 1914 to 1922. The living area is ranging from 592 square feet to 894 square feet. Only Comp 1 and Comp 4 has a full basement foundation, whereas Comp 2 and 3 has a part basement foundation, which means they have only half a basement for development, which is 200 square feet in total. That's what they have for development. Comp 1, 2, and 3 has no basement finish, whereas Comp 4 have a finished basement. They all have a similar bathroom count. Comp 2 and Comp 4 has a central AC. Comp 1 and 2 have a single detached garage, whereas 3 and 4 does not have any kind of garage on the property. The lot size is ranging from 2,332 square feet to 6,000 square feet. The time adjusted sales price is ranging from $151,100 to $229,400. And the time adjusted sales price per square foot is ranging from $255.24 to $314.74 per square feet. I would like to recommend the board to maintain the current assessment of 193. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Redmond, any questions for the assessor?
No, I'm sure you've taken into consideration the Comp 1 as 6,000 square feet. I just wondered if that was the case.
Yes, no, that is the case. Yeah.
Okay,
That's it.
no further questions? Mr. Arnold, any questions for the?
No,
assessor?
I'm good, thanks.
And I have no questions. Anything in summation, Mr. Rehan?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay, therefore that will conclude the matter of item number 354 rural. And I believe that we have covered all of the items here. We have heard all the items scheduled and this hearing is now adjourned.
Okay, I'll go take us offline a bit now. No, 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 no. No.